Hello, hello, Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board. We have grade 4s, grade 5s, and grade 6s with us today. So welcome to you and your teachers. We're so happy you could join us today. I'm here. My name is Priya, and I'm here with my really special friend named Shannon. And Shannon's going to teach us a lot of things today about Indigenous people. And she's going to teach us about why we're wearing orange shirts on September 30th. I'm wearing mine today. And she's going to talk to us, and we have a little activity for you to do today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to say hello. Ani means hello. Hello, Shannon. How are you?
Ani, I'm doing very well.
So Shannon, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, so my English name is Shannon Paul, and my family originates from the area of the Lake of the Woods. And my spirit name is Bashkwanakwit Indishnakas, and I'm from the Moose Clan. And my spirit name was given to me a long time ago by elders. And that's a name that I carry that helps me in my life. And the name means when there's a cloud and it bursts out raining. So whenever I see a cloud and it's raining, I always think of my name and how awesome that is. And I also sing. And I know a lot of songs, a lot of traditional songs. I'm an Indigenous woman. My language is Ojibwe, and a lot of my families and aunties and uncles and grandmas and grandpas speak the language. And something happened a long time ago where the language almost got lost and nobody was speaking the language. And I'll explain more about that in a little bit. And I'm going to explain about why we're going to wear orange shirt on September 30th. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about residential schools. But first, I want to sing a song. And I'd like to share it with you guys. And this is my drum. If you're curious of how the back looks like this. And it's very detailed work. And I think I'm feeling like singing a woman's song. Well, hey, hi, ya, well, hey, ha. Well, hey, hi, ya, well, hey, ha. Well, hey, hi, ya, ya, way, hi, ya, hill. Well, hey, hi, ya, well, hill. Hey, yo, ya, hey, ya. Wabanu in the quag in the noondoa. Minnow daggles in the quag in the noondoa. Well, hey, hi, ya, ya, way, hi, ya, hill. Well, hey, hi, ya, ya, way, hi, yo. Well, hey, hi, yo. Hey, yo, ya, hey, ya. Yay!
Yay! Good job, Shannon. Thank you so much for that beautiful song.
So that song is a woman's song, and the words are in Ojibwe. And it's saying, I hear her. I hear a beautiful woman, and her sound is beautiful. So that's the song. And I usually sing with my drum, and sometimes I sing with my rattle. And so, first, before I get started, I'm just gonna light a smudge. And I don't know if you know what a smudge is, but a smudge is basically we use a medicine, and I put it in this shell. And this is like my smudge bowl. And there's medicine in here that I lit up, and the smoke is there. And I'm just gonna smudge myself because this is a very important topic that we're talking about today. So it's very important to take care of ourselves while we do these kinds of works. Okay, so in our culture, we believe that children are very, very important. They're very sacred, and that they are gifted to us. Babies are gifted to us by the Great Spirit. We call God the Great Spirit or the Great Mystery, Gishimanidu. That's what we call the Great Spirit. And so the children were gifted to us. So they're not ours to own. And we don't tell them what they're going to be when they grow up. And we don't control them. And we certainly don't hurt children. And because they're a gift from Creator, from Gishimanitu, we protect them and we guide them. So a long time ago, and some of our people still do this today, we put feathers in the children's hair, especially in ceremonies, so that they can remember who they are. And there's other things that we do for the children so that they can grow up strong. So we'll just put a feather and it will hang down. It could be small or big. And so feathers are often very, very sacred to us too. And so when we have these feathers, it gives us a lot of strength when we're speaking also, and we could give it to somebody to give them a gift to show them how special they are. If a child is born, I might give the parents a feather and they could give that feather to the baby and they can grow up and the feather would protect them. And so those are some of the ways that we honor our children because they're very, very precious. And we believe that all children are sacred all over the world, no matter what culture you are, or what you look like, or how you sound like, whether you have light skin, medium skin, brown skin, dark skin, we're all sacred. And so I just wanted to share that, a little bit of that. And so we've raised our children for millions and thousands of years on this land, and our people would roam all over the lands, and we had a good way of living. And we taught the children to pick the medicines, taught the children how to speak their language. We taught them the dances and the songs, and that's our culture. And for a long time, we had these practices, and the children would grow up strong, strong and very proud, and knew lots of songs and dances. And then, so what happened was a group of people came overseas to this land. When we call this land Turtle Island. So they came here and they seen my people living here. And these people, they really liked the land and they wanted it. And so they started contacting our people by boats and canoes. And so they promised things with my people that they wanted to share the land. And so what happened was they didn't fulfill their end of the promise. And so they did not share the land with my people. And over the years, they stole land from us. And so they took a lot of land so that they could do with what they wanted to do with it. And then they decided, well, we need to change these people. So they wanted to change my people. And so how they did that was they took all of the kids and they built really big schools called the residential schools. And they stole a lot of kids all over what is now Canada and stole them from their parents. And it was a very, very sad time. And some of the kids would go hide in the forest, and some of them stayed in the forest for a long time and they grew up there and continued living a really, really good life. And some of the kids that went into these schools were forced to speak a different language, and they were forced to speak English. And they were told that their culture, that our Ojibwe language was bad, and that the dances were bad and the songs were bad. Everything that they were taught by the parents, they were told was all wrong, and they needed to believe in something else. And so that is not right. And today we recognize that's wrong and that's not fair. And today we need to do something to make sure that that never happens again. And so some of the kids survived, and some of them stayed there and they never seen their parents ever again. And some of them left the schools and lost their family members. And so I know one story. Her name is Phyllis. And this is a story I heard, and many, many people have the same type of story, some worse than others. So when Phyllis was a little girl, her mom was walking her to the school. And Phyllis didn't know that the residential schools were going to be very, very bad for her. And so she thought that it might be a good opportunity. And so, or she had hoped. And her mom bought her a really beautiful, nice, shiny orange shirt. And Phyllis was so excited to wear this orange shirt. You know, when it's the first day of school and you wanna put on your best clothes and you go shopping and you have your school clothes. Well, Phyllis was really excited too. And it was her first day of school, and she was holding her mom's hand and she had her orange shirt on. And when she walked into the school, the teachers looked at her shirt and frowned. And as soon as the mom left her at the school, the teachers took that shirt away and told her to put on different clothes. And she was never allowed to wear clothes that she wanted to wear. And so she was really sad. And she always thought about her orange shirt and where it could have been and where they put it. And why did they take her shirt away? Was it because she had long hair, or she had brown skin, or because she spoke a different language? Well, all of those kids were wondering the same thing in those schools. And when Phyllis got older, she was always sad about that orange shirt and how they just took it away from her without even asking her. And they surely didn't ask the mom for permission. So when Phyllis got older, she wrote a book about what happened to her in these schools. And so today, because of that, we wear orange shirt on September 30th. And that's to remind us about all the children that went into these bad schools, the residential schools, and to remind us what happened to the children there, and so that we can remember and that we don't forget, and that we can remember the survivors too, and remember the ones that didn't survive in those schools and that lost their parents. And some children never made it back home in those schools. And so the residential schools are not operating today, but we still need to remember what happened so it doesn't happen again. And we need to honor all children, just like you, that we're all important. And Priya, did you want to say something?
Yeah, well, there's a couple questions. One of them is that we see that every child matters is on many of our t-shirts. What does that mean?
So it means that every child matters on the orange shirts. It's about literally every child matters. Children that are in foster care, children that went into the residential schools, children today, and children in the past. So every child matters. And so I actually wrote it on this beautiful heart. Every child matters on this orange heart. And so, what I would like of us all to do is create an orange heart and write something really, really nice in there. It could be, you got to kind of think about it, about what are nice things that you could say to one of your friends or someone maybe you don't even talk to. What do you think would make them feel good? It could be, you're amazing. Um, it could be, you have a great smile. You can write every child matters. And so on September 30th, hopefully there'll be lots of these everywhere. So you could put these on your school walls. You could put them in your house, and nice and bright so that everybody can see.
Wow, that's awesome, Shannon. I have my orange heart. I drew it on a piece of paper with an orange marker. So just in case you don't have orange paper, you could do that too. And Shannon, what do we do if we want to draw? Can we draw instead of writing inside of it? Can we draw a picture of
Yep.
friendship or family?
Yeah, so like Priya said, if you have a white piece of paper, hopefully you have an orange crayon or a marker. You can color it in orange. If you want to cut out the heart and make it cut out, you could do that, or you could leave it like that. And also, if you want, you can gather all of these hearts with your friends. I'm not sure if you're in school or if you have a big family, but you could gather all of these and make a nice big collage, or you can hang these in rows, like across the wall. And you could do a lot of things with these and just be really crafty. Or you could pin these on your shirt and wear it all day on September 30th. And especially if you don't have an orange shirt, you could wear this, or you could wear, if you have a hat, wear it on your hat.
So, Shannon, what day are we supposed to all wear our orange shirts to remember the residential school survivors and the kids who didn't make it?
September 30th.
September 30th. Okay, mark it down in your calendars. That's a really important day for us to all remember. And if you can wear anything, just even something, even have your heart on you as orange, just to remember the stories that Shannon told us. Now, we do have some questions. So, one of the students is wondering, did Indigenous people always live here?
Yes, we've always lived here. So, my family and my ancestry, we've always lived on this land before any other culture or any other religion. We were the first people on this land. That's a
So,
great
that
question.
was a great question. So when the settlers came, or the people who came to colonize, why did they want to not work with Indigenous people? Why did they break their promises to Indigenous people of friendship?
That's a very good question. And there's a lot of reasons. It could be complicated, But I think one of the biggest reasons that they broke their promises is because they wanted the land and they wanted to do what they wanted to do with the land, which is basically like stealing somebody's house. And that's not right.
No, that isn't right at all. So when children got sent to residential schools, those mean places, were they allowed to speak their language? Were they allowed to eat their food or celebrate their ceremonies and celebrations?
Hmm. Unfortunately, no. The schools were almost like jail. So if you could think like how the jails are today or the armies, that's how the residential schools were, where they couldn't speak their language. So let's say if there was a residential school today and I went in there, I could not speak my language. I would not be able to use my hand drum. And I certainly wouldn't be able to be talking about a feather. And so the residential schools were a place where the children couldn't be themselves. And so they were forced to um, speak and dress and act in a different way.
Wow, so it really took away their culture. Wow, it's really
Yeah,
scary. So, do you know the youngest that a child could be sent to residential school? What was the youngest age?
the youngest age I believe would be 5.
Yeah,
Kids would be sent there, and that is very, very young, way too young, unfortunately.
way too young. And I read that they were there till some of them were 18 years old. Is that true?
That's true. They were there until they were 18. Some kids would run away, and some would make it to their homes and live in the forest and hide because the teachers in the schools would go running after the kids, and they would try to find them and bring them back to the schools.
So, were they allowed to see their parents at all?
No, but they could visit in the summer times on summer holidays. And so sometimes when sometimes when bad things happen, sometimes it's hard for somebody to tell somebody because it's scary to talk about it and someone might not believe you. So a lot of the times, um, the kids felt scared to tell somebody. And the schools were telling the parents that the school was a good place, and they lied to the parents.
Yeah, it's always important to remember that if you have a loving, caring adult in your life, you could always talk to them too. That's so important, Shannon. Wow, that's a really sad to hear that residential schools ever existed in Canada. But it's important to learn about. Why is it so important that we remember these lessons and this history that happened in Canada?
Well, we don't want to repeat this ever again, and it's important to acknowledge what happened in Canada. So this is about our history here. This is all of our history that we need to know about, and that's the truth. And so we also need to acknowledge Indigenous people and my story and my ancestors' stories. And it's important that we hear about it and talk about it and try to make the world a better place.
So, Shannon, what are some examples of things that we can do to make the world a better place?
So, as kids, you might think that the adults need to do a lot of the work, but guess what? You know what? Adults learn from you. Um, us adults, we learn a lot from children. Um, so remember, just be brave. Speak up when somebody's getting bullied. Say, hey, that's not right. And tell an adult that somebody's getting bullied. especially if it's because of a different culture. And also, what you could do is you could learn about other people's cultures and you can learn about your culture. And it's really interesting to learn about history too.
What about the earth? Is there anything we could do to help protect the earth?
That's a very, very good question. And because these lands, and we believe that the land is also sacred, just like children are sacred, and that the lands, have a power, but they also need our help. So, there's a lot of places that are getting polluted and things like that. But as individuals, we can pick up litter when we see it. We can protest and we can ask the adults to help us. There's other inventions that are being built all the time that help the planet. We can learn more about indigenous communities because the communities there have polluted water because the lands were stolen and, big corporations took over and polluted the water. So as kids, talk to your adults and ask them to help you with things like that.
Those are such important, good tips on how to make the world a better place. Thank you so, so much, Shannon. We're almost out of time, but I just want to remind the teachers that if your students have any questions for Shannon, please feel free to send it to me and I will share it with Shannon. And Shannon always responds back with the answers to her questions. Make sure if you do your orange hearts with either a picture or a saying or something in it, please share a picture with us. We got pictures yesterday from the primaries, and it was very heartwarming to see all those pictures. So please, if you can, send us a picture of your Orange Hearts display, if it's in the classroom or just what the kids create. So I believe that's all we have today, but there's more to come. So keep an eye out for more presentations coming up. And for the teachers, tomorrow is intermediates presentation with Isaac Murdoch on Orange Shirt Day. So, and the meaning behind that for them for grade 7s and 8s. So Shannon, thank you so much. How do you say thank you in Anishinaabe?
Miigwech.
Miigwech. Thank you so much. Miigwech. What a wonderful word. I think everyone should try saying it. Miigwech.
Miigwech.
Miigwech. Awesome. And then how do I say see you later? Because I'm going to see you again.
Bamapi.
Bamapi. So Bamapi, everyone.
Bamapi.
We hope to see you again. Thank you so much, Miigwech Shannon. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.
Bye, guys.